Welcome, 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 welcome. What is happening, still a nation? What is happening, still a nation? May only be a few of you guys in here right now, so I'll, you know, buy some time for a moment, allow a few more of you all to come in here. But this is gonna be, it's gonna be a short show. This is gonna be a short, very short, terrible towel Tuesday. Um, Again, guys, we are struggling to have topics to talk about at this current stage. And regardless of whether we have a lot to talk about or just a little to talk about, I'm always, unless I'm unable to do so out of town or whatever, family matters or what have you, if I'm able, I'm always going to come on, even if it's only 5 minutes, just to chop it up with my Steeler family and get some things off our chest and fellowship with each other in reference to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is well. Again, welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday, live from the Steel Basement. I am your host, Sim Football Critic. Yes, it is spelled SimFBallCritic, but again, it is Football Critic. Sim Football Critic. Sim, whatever you want to call me, my guy, my man, dude, homie, bro, whatever. Whatever y'all want to call me. What's happening, man? Let's say hello to the early commenters really quick. Shout outs to Ollie Howard. What's going on, man? Shout outs to my man Y Diggy in the building. Shout outs to Steeler Cards. Shout outs to Mark Cunningham, my man in the building as well, man. Shout outs to the infamous Tim in the building. Who else is up in here early, man? Hello. The lovely Lanisha is in the building. Lanisha, I'm about to be in your neck of the woods again. Very soon. Very soon. But yeah. Hello, Lanisha. Thank you for coming through each and every night. Every terrible towel, every special edition. Loyal to the soil. And guys, y'all know the routine, man. Say hello and greet our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. Treat them with care. Antoine Hill in the building, my man. Brother man to you is in the building. Who else is up in here early, man? That might be it as far as the early commenters. Also, a few late nights is in the building. What's happening? He says, I don't know how I feel about these moves the Steelers have been making. Okay. Definitely share those thoughts here tonight, man, because I'm going to lean on you guys to give me some topics. Brother Mark, 1992 as well, is in the building. So let's get to it, guys. Not a lot to talk about tonight. This might be a record-setting Terrible Towel Tuesday as far as the length of time. Might be a record-setting Terrible Towel Tuesday, the shortest show perhaps that I've ever had, because I only have two really quick topics. Main topic will be Roman Wilson. All eyes will be on Roman Wilson like Tupac, right? Also, fatigue as a Steelers fan. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It might coincide with what my man said there about, him not being sure about the Steelers move. So I will talk a little bit about that. Like I said, just the fatigue right now as a Steelers fan, and I'll get into that. Excuse me, guys. My eye is itching. Side note, all of the Steelers draft picks except for Derek Harmon have been signed. So that's a good thing. I always feel like it's good to get these guys signed and under contract quick and early. So there's no distractions and don't worry about it. Harmon will sign. I mean, you guys know how it goes with the first round picks. These guys it's business, from the moment you get drafted, it is business now. You look around the league, you look and see what other guys in your position, not only in your position who are veterans, but other guys who may have been drafted, especially the guys that may have been drafted in the first round. You look at your position, you see what they got, and that's how your agent is going to negotiate. So nothing to be concerned about there, guys. But I would imagine that's why Harmon has not signed quite yet, but he will. And there you have it. Like I said, it looks like it's getting done early. So that is a good thing to see. So that's the only side note. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about in regards to rookie minicamp. I mean, it was good to see everybody participate. Interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, but and I forget the kid's name now, but the Bengals' first round pick held out of participation in their rookie minicamp. He said he was going to wait until he got signed. So, listen, again, I understand it's a business. I don't knock any of these guys for doing what they have to do, what they feel is in their best interest. Get your money and all of that. Secure your bag, secure your safety. I get it. But me personally, I'm just going to say rookie minicamp, in my opinion, is not necessarily the time to do that. I mean, I get it. But that's a new one. And maybe it's happened before, and I'm not familiar with it, but I just thought that was a little, dog, you know what I'm saying? You're not even in pads. And again, you could get hurt not being in pads, but yeah, I don't know how I would have felt if that would have happened with the Steelers, right? If our first round draft pick decides that they're not going to participate in rookie minicamp, I don't know how I would feel about that. But like I said, I don't knock anybody, man. Whatever they feel is best for them, it is what it is. Yeah, I just didn't like that. I was just thinking about how we would feel if our draft pick did that, especially the first rounder. Outside of that, guys, I don't think there was much more other than the two topics that I mentioned, but let me just double check, make sure there's not anything else that I may have missed that might be important to you good old folk. Hold on. Let me see. Trying to gather some notes. Just check a site or two to make sure I didn't miss anything. And for whatever reason, my Google Chrome is bugging on my computer. Let me pull it up on my phone. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, guys. I'll be to you in just a second. 2 shakes of a rattlesnake. Yeah, there was only a couple other things that I was going to slightly mention. I thought Beanie Bishop's his response, there was a article, his initial shock and reply to George Pickens getting traded, and I would understand that. I have no beef with that. Also, I don't know if you guys caught Omar Khan's presser. I thought it was interesting that he spoke when he did. You don't usually hear from the GM around that time, and he kind of addressed the whole George Pickens trade. And I thought what was interesting was the wording that he used, the word choice, of him saying fresh start for him and us. You can decipher that however you want, but to me, that just sounds like, man, we was done with him. And it's just that simple. And the second part that I will add to that, guys, I don't know if you all saw, Ben Roethlisberger spoke on it as well. I actually watched that part of Ben's podcast like a few moments ago. I just went to YouTube, went to the chapters, which I need to start adding chapters to my videos. But anyway, I was able to go to just that piece. And I thought what Ben Roethlisberger said, in my opinion, it's very logical. His comments were very logical. And actually, hold on, guys. It's not even that long. How about I play it for y'all? Let's do that. Give me a second. Give me a second. How about I just play y'all that piece? Let me go to it. Hold on. I'm going to play this entire segment for you guys. And y'all write in the chat that you can hear it once I start it. All right, just to make sure it's playing. Let's do that. It's only about 3 minutes. But the reason why I want to play this, guys, is it echoes basically every point that I made and some of you made as well. Like when you think about this from a logic standpoint. Here it is.
Like what we got, or what we got in return, was not indicative of his talent level.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I feel like I have a lot to say, but none of it probably is, and it's all just a bunch of jumbled thoughts in my head.
Sure.
None of it is anything I don't know one way or another. I haven't talked to anybody about it. This would just be like all the different, like when it happened, I'd be like, these are all the things since it's happened that have come in my head. Maybe one of them makes sense. Maybe none of them make sense. But like, they're obviously, Well, I shouldn't say. See, it obviously means
obvious,
like
yeah,
that's
that's the
apparent, and that's not the right way to say
Clearly,
it. I wonder.
Yeah.
It's probably a better way.
Again, real quick, let me interrupt. This is just hearing Ben Roethlisberger's thoughts. And the reason why I'm playing this is, again, it echoes what I was saying and what a lot of you guys were saying when you take all of the other emotions out of it. Let's get back to it.
Is he a bigger headache than we even know? Obviously, we saw last year there were some issues. Coach Tomlin even kind of came out for the first time, I think, in a long time, and kind of criticized a player, saying he needs to grow up
Publicly, yeah.
publicly. Was there a more headache there than we even know about? Again, these are all just my things. These are going to be all over the place. Okay.
Yeah.
He had this year left on his contract, right? So he becomes then they can franchise him next year, but after this year, you have no leverage to get anything for him.
Sure.
So if you know you're moving on from him, now's the time to do it, and the only chance you're going to get something for him.
Mm-hmm.
Fully agree with that point. Y'all heard me say that. Thought number 2.
So it's like, okay, he's not our long term. We're not going to pay two. And if we keep him, well, now we're going to have to pay him a lot of money,
right? Or
someone else is going to grab him, and we're not going to pay two of our two receivers a ton of money. You're just not going to do that. Are they thinking of the future? Not right now. Which, again, these are all just thoughts. I wouldn't think so, because you don't only have so many years with TJ and Cam and what you have, but
right.
Is this more of a we're building for the future type thing? Are they trying to build up draft capital for next year to move up in the draft?
Sure.
You just picked up 2 picks. Now one's this next year, one's the year after. In my head, I'm thinking like, okay, the draft's in Pittsburgh next year. Can they find a way without losing? Obviously you want to try and win, but winning this year, but still using draft capital to get like a top 10 pick next year in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
Like, I know everyone's talking about next year as a big quarterback class, but I'm hearing rumors that like Arch Manning is not coming out.
I've been saying that too. Not specifically about Arch, but y'all have repeatedly heard me say, Kenyon is my witness. One of the times when we were on the steel table, I said, yo, I get everybody saying, just roll with so-and-so this year and don't draft a quarterback and go get yours, quarterback next year. But what do I always say about draft picks? There's never a guarantee that you're going to get the guy. And then we start hearing these rumors about, Kenyon brought that to our attention as well. You start hearing these things about some of these guys, these top guys might not come out next year because of the NIL bag. They're not in any rush. Think about that. Some quarterbacks are not in any rush because they figure if they stay and ball out, their bag gets bigger for the NFL. Maybe their draft stock goes up even higher, but there's no rush. Let's continue.
Really?
Like he's staying. So he's, take that. Maybe the draft class next year isn't as good as people think.
Depends how much that NIL check is.
There's a lot of questions out there still. So those are all things that have just been going through my head. The timing did seem a little weird. Seemed like they couldn't get much for him. Maybe that's all that was offered. I mean, It's not like they were like, okay, we're going to send him to Dallas. And, even though these other deals offers were better, we're going to send him to Dallas because we want to go to Dallas. Like that obviously was the best offer they got.
I agree with that as well. I saw so many of you guys, when I say you guys, I'm generalizing Steeler Nation. I've seen so many of you guys saying, why they didn't get a second round pick? Man, they should have got a first round pick. Again, that's the emotion. That's the emotion. Nobody's taking into consideration George Pickens comes with a little baggage. George Pickens going into his last season. George Pickens being a free agent next season, right? At the end of this next season. George Pickens already saying he doesn't even want to sign a contract right now. He wants to prove himself to go for the bag. So if you're a team and you're a GM, why would you give up a first or a second on a 1-year rental? This is what I kept saying. We always want to act like we know what the Steelers are doing. That's so stupid. Why did they take a third? They got a second for Claypool. Yes, but when we got a second for Claypool, y'all said we fleeced the Bears, right? Maybe Dallas or other teams weren't as dumb, so to speak. And maybe the third round was the best you could get. We never go to logic. We always just want to blame. Let's continue. Only a little bit more.
So that either speaks on teams not really sure or being like, you know what? No, we'll wait till next year when he's a free agent. You know, there's just a lot of thoughts. But to me, it just seems like the Steelers were over it. I mean, I think that's at the end of the day, it feels like that's the biggest thing. They were over it. They weren't willing to go one more year and see what he can do on the field with those two receivers on the field.
Right.
And be like, you know what, at the end, we'll take our chances with all the headaches that we could potentially get this year. And then at the end of the year, go on.
Yeah, that was the challenging thing too, I think, for the fan base, is that when we locked in DK, it was like, we are going to be unstoppable. Finally, we have this offense, man. When you got weapons like that on the inside, and then you got, or on the outside, and you got weapons like Pat, you got Darnell Washington, you got running backs that you feel good about. The O-line is gaining maturity. You're like, you can just, throw Mason in there. We have a legitimate chance here. And then now we have quarterback uncertainty, and now you get rid of one of the guys. We're like, dude, we didn't even get to see these two in the same room together.
No,
what are we doing?
It would have been so much fun to see those two receivers on the field and to be like, oh,
right.
Like, this is awesome.
All right, and we can end it right there, guys. I fully agree with that as well. I think we all would want to have seen that, right? So I wanted to play that piece just so you guys can see all of the thoughts even a guy like Big Ben had about it, but he put the rationale piece in front, and then he ends it with, man, yeah, as fans, we wanted to see what that could have been. And we all understand that. But again, like I told y'all, it's emotional. It's emotional. You're not looking at the business side of it. And there it is. And clearly it got to a point where Tomlin and company were just tired, or they were done dealing with George Pickens. And that's just it. But like I said, we could be upset, we could be shocked, but once you put the logic to it, it only made sense. You know, you go ahead and get that for sure draft pick rather than allowing him to get signed in free agency, and you don't necessarily know what you're going to get in terms of the comp pick, and that's for the 2027 year. It made sense. So, again, I'm not so upset at why they did the trade. I can understand those of you who still feel like the timing was a little awkward. But again, maybe that was the best they could do. Maybe teams weren't willing to bite during the draft. It was rumors saying that people were offering them a fourth or later during the draft. So there you have it. But speaking of that, guys, let me put a bow on the final topic. I told y'all this was going to be a record-setting Terrible Towel Tuesday, a quick one. We're only at 19 minutes. All eyes now will be on Roman Wilson. I'm going to do my due diligence. I've watched enough Ohio State, right? So I don't have to watch any more Will Howard and Jack Sawyer. I did watch some of the game that Kenyon mentioned with Washington and Iowa. I didn't finish it. I got to go finish that to watch, quite a few guys that are going to be on our team. But now I'm going to turn my attention to Roman Wilson and go back and watch his film, right? From college, because we haven't gotten a chance to see him as a ball catcher in the NFL. And I say all eyes will be on him because it might even be unfair, right? People are going to look at him as the number 2, and if he does not perform, it's automatically going to be this comparison to GP. It's the same thing we in Steeler Nation did, what you guys did to Juju when there was no AB. Everybody automatically went from Juju being the benefactor of AB being on the field and playing in the slot and things of that nature to, oh, he's not a number 1. That's what y'all did. Nobody ever said Juju was the number 1. I don't know why anybody ever put that on him. AB gone. Now he can't do nothing. Well, who said he was a lead dog? Juju may have always been a Robin to AB's Batman, right? AB drawing all the coverage and we moved Juju inside. And y'all remember them years where he went to work? Him and Ben had a wonderful connection. But then y'all put these weighty, lofty expectations on him. Oh, you know, he ain't no number one. He ain't no AB. Who said he was? Juju didn't ask for that. So my point is, y'all are going to do the same thing to Roman Wilson if, in fact, he's not making these plays like y'all saw from George Pickens. You're automatically going to compare the two. But that's why I say I don't even think it's fair. But clearly, it sounds like the organization, you know, Khan and Tomlin and others, clearly they're talking as if they're fully comfortable with our current receiver situation. Now, we'll see if they add someone going forward. Because, by the way, guys, I don't know why y'all always get upset with these interviews. And the GM, the head coach, the players are never going to tell you their exact plan. I don't know why you guys listen to interviews and expect to hear anything other than interview talk. And y'all be pissed. Man, he said he comfortable with the wide receiver group. Man, is he crazy? Hey, we need another wide receiver. What's he doing? Do y'all really think he gonna sit up there and say, yeah, our group sucks. We'll be looking for new talent? No, he's not gonna do that. So I don't understand the overreaction when they don't spell it out to you. They're never gonna do that. I've gotten to the point where, like I said, I try to use the third eye and read between the lines and try to connect what they're saying. They're never gonna just lay it out. And I wouldn't expect any coach to do that. Some stuff you keep in-house. But either way, all eyes will be on Roman Wilson. Because you would think that he's going to be given a shot to be the number 2. Or at least the number 3 when we choose to run 11 personnel, right? You would think he might possibly be in pole position, as Tomlin would say last year, regarding Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. He might be in pole position even more so than even though he's a veteran, maybe more so than a Robert Woods. Who knows? Maybe Robert Woods is the security blanket that you could throw out there for possessions and things like that. I don't know. I think Calvin Austin did enough last year for us to trust him in certain situations. Do we put him outside at the Z, or do we keep him inside as a slot guy? But like I said, I think all eyes will be on Roman Wilson, especially if the Steelers don't go out and trade or sign a free agent wide receiver. And like I said, I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to go look at his film and remember what he was, right? Because we're a year removed. And just to see how I think he could pair in that offense. Because think about it like this, and I'll end it with this. All of them years in Seattle, before in Jackson and Nigba, am I saying his name right? It was DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Now, I'm not comparing Tyler Lockett to Roman Wilson. I'm just comparing the theory. Is it possible that the Steelers could have a DK Metcalf and a Tyler Lockett-like situation with Metcalf and Wilson, where the other receiver might not be this mega superstar, but he's productive and doing things at times that can draw a little bit of attention away from the main guy, or if so much attention is being paid to him, the other guy is doing a couple numbers here and there, right? Just think about the years of Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Like I said, not sitting here trying to compare the receiver style of Lockett and Wilson. They're not the same player, but I'm saying, could you get that type of production? The same way Seattle did with those two, could we replicate those two and get production without having a Metcalf and a Pickens? Could Wilson be that guy that's productive? We'll see. So I'll just say, don't discount everything. I mean, it doesn't seem good right now on paper because we haven't really seen him in the NFL, but don't discount anything until we see it. You know, this was a very capable receiver coming out of college. A lot of people were high on the pick. Let's give him a chance. Calvin Austin, right? Even though this was year 3, Calvin Austin came alive, right? Almost a similar path. Battled with injuries in his rookie season. Second season, started showing some flashes here and there. And last season, he was showing up. So why couldn't Roman Wilson come in his second season and contribute? So don't discount anything until you see it, right? So those are just my thoughts, guys. So like I said, this was a record-setting Terrible Towel Tuesday. It's under 30 minutes. I'm going to spend a few minutes here in the chat just to, comment on some of you guys' comments. So fire away. I'll give you guys about another 4 minutes. See what y'all got here, man. Like I said, this is a slow period, guys, but just to try to get some content out there for you guys. Okay, good. Just making sure I didn't miss any Wonder Bread or anything, so we ain't got to worry about that. Let's get to some of these comments. Daron says, thank you. Hopefully the next Steelers, He says, thank you. Hopefully the next Steelers laugh out loud. Okay. I think you're just talking about, I don't know. You might be replying to somebody, or you may just be like joking, referencing where we are as Steeler Nation right now. Let me go 1 up, 2 up actually, and I'll start here. I'll start right here with Mark Cunningham. He says, opportunity is knocking for Roman Wilson. Absolutely. Few Late Night says, yeah, it's the time. It's time, Sim, we have to get out of there and see what he can do. Yeah. Absolutely. Not Calvin. Ollie Howard says, I still think Calvin Austin can get it done. Big speed kills. Yeah. Calvin Austin, don't sleep on, man. Calvin Austin did some things last year that I wasn't quite sure he had in his bag. You saw it a little bit in college, but he was making some combat catches and everything last season. So, yeah, Calvin Austin is a small, scrappy. He's a little scrappier than I thought that he would be in the NFL, and he still has that speed. So, yeah. And absolutely, Kenyon says CA3 is running number 3. Yeah, he's pretty much the slot guy. I don't think we're going to see much of, Calvin playing the Z spot, when we're in 12. Even though, the interesting thing, if you guys remember, in college, he was an X. But I don't think we'll see that with us. Steeler Card says, we have a number 1 in DK and a bunch of 3s and 4s. Fair point. But like I said, we don't know that. We don't know what Roman Wilson is. That's all I'm saying. Let's not discount the receiver group entirely until we see what Roman Wilson is. And I think Roman Wilson is the key, right? We know Scotty Miller. We know Robert Woods. To some degree, to a lesser degree, we know Calvin Austin, right? But we have not seen Roman Wilson. Let's at least see what he can be before we, I would say, disrespect him and just say he's nowhere near a number 2. We don't know that yet. Sonny Roth Miller says, what about Chris Olave from the Saints? I like Olave coming out of college. I've liked a little bit of what he's done in the league. So I wouldn't be opposed to any of these guys coming in to help. Who else? What y'all got? Let me read another one. Who else? Antoine Hill. Yep. Antoine Hill says, I think Rock Taylor will surprise all of us. Yeah, I keep hearing about Rock. That's another guy that I have to watch, the kid from Memphis. And apparently, do you guys know his measurables, man? Because I keep seeing people saying that he's 6'3", but when I looked him up on the Steelers site last Terrible Towel Tuesday, they had him listed at 6'1". But I think he is the guy that y'all have been talking about. But I remember people saying, the big 6'3" receiver. And I guess it's him. But if anybody knows factually what he weighed in, height, speed, and all of that, please let me know. Thank you, man. Brother, man, I appreciate the Wonder Bread, man. Round of applause to brother, man. Thank you, brother. Man, I appreciate that, man. He says showing support, so keep up the nice work, Sim, and really appreciate you. Appreciate you as well, man. Y'all have no idea. Listen, this is what I love to do. Who knew I would love cutting the camera on and talking? I guess, some people say how you could just do it by yourself. It seems effortless. Da 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 da. I guess it comes from my entertainment background, man. Like being in front of crowds with a microphone, rocking. This is fun and therapeutic for me. I really like this, and I love the Steelers. Like I feel like I know some football, so I could do this all day. But you guys are the ones that make it worth it. Just the support, whether it's donation or not, just the regular support of all of y'all showing up each and every time. Like, of course, you want to grow, and I'm sure I will grow, but I feel like I got an army behind me. A lot of y'all are the ride or dies, the day ones, and we rocking. I don't have to have 10,000 people viewing every Tuesday. I can have y'all, and we rocking. So that's why I appreciate y'all wholeheartedly. Oh, brother man, again. Again, round of applause for the second Wonder Bread. Hey. He says, how did your son's game go, Sim? And how is the progress coming along? Man, and I meant to I was going to show it. Maybe I'll show it next show. But I meant to capture, because I put some of his highlights from this past weekend together. It's about a 2-minute video. And let me tell y'all, and again, guys, he's only 11 years old, right? 5th grade, but he's really coming along. He's a natural born 2, right? With a shooter's mentality and can shoot. And I'm not saying it because he's my son. The boy can shoot, right? But trying to teach kids that age to not do what you see them do in the NBA, which don't even get me started, and just jack up shots and 3-pointers. Trying to teach them how to see the floor. And let me tell y'all, this past weekend, because on this particular team he's playing on, they got him playing the point. And this kid was doing stuff that I have been trying to teach him for the longest time. I mean, dropping dimes. In their second game, they end up winning the championship. In their second game, he won player of the game. Had 7 points. He hit a 3. He hit a floater, and he hit another shot, a little mid-range. But he had like 7 assists. 2 steals. I mean, to see it all play out, and they're playing this particular tournament. It's 10-minute quarters with a running clock, so it's not a long game. But my man was cooking, y'all. he was cooking, and no lie, like, because I even put a couple of the missed assists in the highlight, film, just to show him the court vision. No lie, he probably could have had, and I'm not exaggerating, he could have had 14, 15 assists if some of his teammates would have finished the layup. But it completely shocked me, because I'm like, who is this? I mean, he throwing one-hand dimes, like, beautiful. So thanks for asking, man. He's coming along, man. He's coming along. And just to give some of you guys a hint, if y'all have young kids or will have kids, the best thing that could have happened for him is on this team, putting the ball back in his hand, because a lot of times with kids, if they don't have the ball, right, if they're not the point guard, young kids don't pass all the time. So when they do get the ball, they kind of trying to figure out what they need to do. But when they have the ball in their hand, that gets them back confident and knowing that they could dribble and drive and all of that. And that's seeing the progression from his fall team, where he was off ball, to now having to handle the ball and dealing with press and stuff like that, is elevating his game. So I'm kind of glad that he was able to play for this team right now to get him back to knowing, you can handle the ball. So it's a beautiful thing, man. But anyway, guys, I didn't mean it to go off course there, but brother man asked, and I appreciate you. Yeah, fundamentals, man. He's coming around. Couple more minutes, guys. Let's see what y'all got. Okay, 6'2", 213 is what Antoine Hill is saying about Rock Taylor. Okay, so yeah, those are my homework items. Need to watch some of his film, and I need to go back and look at Roman Wilson so it could be fresh. But let's not discount him, man. Let's not discount him. Also, I see Lanisha replying to Kenyon. Kenyon did mention this too, man, that there was some rumblings out there that the Steelers could be in position to potentially trade for Michael Pittman Jr. And yes, that's all I'm going to say. Yes. Y'all asking me how I feel? Yes. Yes. Yeah. No explanation needed. Yes. You have the thumbs up from me. Y'all know, yeah. Y'all know how we feel about that. Again, Kenyon even more than me. Kenyon put me on to Pittman Jr. You know? And yes. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna keep saying that. No, y'all don't even have to ask me how I feel. Yes. Do it. Do it.
Donation.
Sonny. Here y'all go, man. Dropping the Wonder Bread. Thank you, Sonny, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Round of applause to Sonny with that Wonder Bread. Sonny says, everybody have a good, safe evening. Wife looks like she wants to DDT me. Hey, man. I appreciate you. And Sonny, listen, tell your lovely wife, man, hey, that Sim said, I appreciate her lending you to me for a little while. Cause I know how it is, you know. People can say what they want, but that whole happy wife, happy life is real. And not the cliche, but you always want to make sure your lady is taken care of, man, whether that's time, effort, whatever. So again, we joke, but we're keeping it a buck. So yeah, Sonny, tell the missus, man, your boy Sim, man, said, hey, ma'am, madam, Mrs., lovely lady, I appreciate you lending Sonny to me for a little bit. Thank you so much. What else y'all got? One or two more, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. I'm gonna call you Mrs. Rothmiller. We appreciate you. What else y'all got? Brent Richard said teams are going to double DK every single play and he will crash out next if this offense has no improvement. Yeah, you know, it's very possible. He might. I hope not, but he might. But I understand what you're saying, Brett. You know, it could very well blow up, but hopefully not. Eric Williams says, happy husband, be more loving. Yeah. Yes, sir. I like that. I like that, Eric. Happy husband, be more loving. Brother Man says, have you been out of the country ever, Sam? Yeah. That's where we went. Well, I've done it before now, but last week when I was on vacation, we went to Aruba. Yeah, so yes, I'm gonna say yes to that trip as well. Beautiful. And we got many more plans as far as places to go. But yeah, definitely been out of the country quite a few times. Let's see. A few late night says, I thought that too. Juju and MPJ would have been perfect. Yeah, that would have been crazy. That would have been some hard-nosed receivers together, right? Because, again, y'all say what y'all want about Juju, but when Juju was with us, man, Juju was, you know what I mean? Juju was a tough, gritty player when he was with Pittsburgh. Daron says, Sim, my baby boy is going to be here on the 23rd. Oh, man. Round of applause to my man, Daron. Outstanding. Outstanding, man. We don't have long to wait. So congratulations to you, man. And
Donation.
we gonna put this in the air so we know it is gonna happen. A healthy birth as we usher in the new Smith. So that's what's up, man. Round of applause, man. Oh, brother, man. Again, thank you for more Wonder Bread. And he says, please say congrats to Jerome. Yes, man. Congratulations, my good brother. Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. Give me maybe 2 more, guys. And I lied. It wasn't record setting. We managed to get to 41 minutes. But let's take 2 more. Here we go. Jermaine White, how you doing? I don't recognize that name, so maybe you're fairly new, so appreciate you. He says, if DK gets doubled, then hopefully Smith has the smarts enough to use Muth and Darnell along with Austin. Can't disagree with that at all. I really hope that, listen, Russell Wilson started utilizing Muth quite a bit more. I hope that whoever comes in there, along with the quarterback, Arthur Smith, also starts targeting Darnell Washington more. I mean, just think about it. Just do a double seam. Out of 12 personnel, you put Muth and Darnell Washington and run them up the seam. Double seam. Every now and then, make the defense choose who they're going to play. That should be easy, quick money. Come on, man. Come on. This ain't. Sometimes football is elementary, right? The same thing I tell my son about basketball. Yeah, all of these sports are complex, but some things are basic. That's a basic thing. Shoot both tight ends up the seam from time to time and see what happens. Sometimes it's basic. Like I said, I teach my son, man, when me and him do our one-on-one, when he's not training with his, the basketball trainers and stuff, we work on, all right, from half court, he got to come up, and I either jump up and crowd him, or I lay off him, or I force him left and force him right. And I tell him, it's basketball basics, brother. If I lay off you, shoot that jumper. Wide open. Cash. If I come rushing at you in one direction, quick cross over to the next direction. If I come up and crowd you, blow past me. It's basics, guys. It's basics. And that's basic stuff with football. Tight ends up the seam. You got these gigantic Darnell Washington. Come on, man. And at the goal line. Remember how we threw that play action pass to, was it Michael Pruitt? And we scored off of that? Darnell Washington. This dude, what is he, 6'7", 6'6"? Come on, man. Basics. Yeah, man. CT Pittman, you were right. So much possibilities coming out of that 12 personnel, especially in play action. Yes, Lord, man. And listen, I'll tell y'all this. If he does end up coming and playing for us for a year, Rodgers will use him. Rodgers will use him. That's one thing we can be certain. But I still a fatigue, man. I didn't get to that topic, guys, but my fatigue is just where we are and not knowing the certainty of the quarterback position. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I somehow skipped over that topic, but my fatigue as a fan right now, I'm just tired of waiting. Right? I understand some people say in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I think as fans, we want to put our mind at ease so we can start visualizing what could be. I hate the fact that right now we literally don't know not only if Aaron Rodgers is coming, but if Mason Rudolph is going to be the starter versus a Will Howard. We have no idea. And it just feels, But I'm going to save that for another show, being is that I didn't really get to that topic tonight. But yeah, bro, I'm sick of it. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're right at 45 minutes, a little longer than I expected. But hey, still not too bad, But of course, guys, y'all know the routine, man. Listen, if you're watching this video and you're brand new, You like the video? There's 2 ways that you can show me to do that you do like it. You can hit the like button and you can subscribe to the channel. Very simple, right? As well as when you are subscribed, make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when videos like these are up and running. Outside of that, man, I'm going to wish all of you guys a great rest of the week. If any crazy news breaks, I will do an emergency, some type of video or show. I may not be home to do it here, but I'll figure it out. But if anything important breaks that I need to talk about, we will talk about it. Outside of that, man, y'all know the routine. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.